get your heart ready. And your dislike button too. Because today, we're going to destroy reputations and canonize episodes. Bluey has episodes that deserve an Emmy, and others that deserve a timeout on the shame rug. But after all, when does the series truly shine? And when does it completely forget its own potential? If there's one thing that causes a civil war in the comments, it's trying to choose the best and worst episodes of Bluey. Because let's be real, there are episodes everyone loves that honestly aren't all that. And there are others that the fan base ignored, but are actually hidden gems. So yes, today is a day for controversy, a day for drama, a day to make parents cry in the shower, a day to traumatize everyone. We're going to break down the series into solid categories: the best episode, the worst episode, the funniest episode, the most emotional episode, the weirdest episode, the best episode to introduce Bluey to someone who's never seen it, and the one that would be the perfect series finale. And no, we're not sugarcoating anything. If a fan favorite is bad, we're going to say it. So grab your shields and swords in the comments, subscribe to the channel, and let's rank all the best and worst episodes of Bluey right now on Zigzag. Let's kick things off with a bang. The best episode of Bluey is The Sign. And there's no debate. You know when a show mixes emotion, humor, mystery, and still makes you cry? That's it. And here's the thing. It's the only episode that's half an hour long. The entire production looked at this script and said, okay, Joe cooked with this one, and he sure did. The Sign is basically the dream season finale. It's got a farewell, a wedding, a moving dilemma, Bluey growing up. It's the kind of episode that if you watch it unprepared, you'll walk away, wiping your tears and hugging your dog. And the best part? It's not corny. It's an emotional slap in the face made with love for the art. Seriously, how much did you cry during this episode? But if that was the peak of TV animation, the next one on the list will make you do a double take with how bad it is. Just like the best episode is undeniable, the worst one is too. I'm talking about the episode Tina. I know this opinion makes me look like that scene from Tangled, but I don't even care. Are there people who love this episode? Yes. But you're wrong. That's it. I said it. Let's be honest. The episode throws out the window all that healthy and educational style of the show. All just to make the parents get humiliated by an imaginary entity called Tina, a giant dog who beats up adults. Yes, that's exactly what you heard. The episode turns into a show of disrespect. Bandit, who's normally the most dedicated dad in the history of children's animation, spends the whole time getting stomped on and screaming, "Help, Tina!" And all of it with that tone of, "Oh, look how cute." No, it's not cute. It's weird, uncomfortable, and completely breaks the emotional logic that makes the show so special. You watch it and think, wait, is this Bluey or a lost episode of preschool South Park? Some people defend it saying it's about imagination. But if that's the case, imagination for what? To traumatize parents and teach kids that playing pretend torture is family fun? This episode isn't just bad. It's dangerously off track. Did you also think Tina was an animated nightmare? Or was it just me? If you survived this animated meltdown called Tina, congrats! If you've ever cried watching a cartoon with blue dogs or felt seen by a grumpy 6-year-old grandma, subscribe to this channel now. If the episode Tina felt like a crossover with Peppa Pig, then Granny Mobile is basically a lost episode of Shark Tank. Diaper Edition. The premise is already great on its own. Doreen, the sweet neighbor completely clueless in the world of sales, doesn't know how to negotiate the price of absolutely anything at her yard sale. And then who steps in? Muffin, the little healer who carries all the energy of chaos within her, ready to save the day with her not-so-subtle business style. By playing a cranky old lady, the girl doesn't just pretend to be a grandma, she becomes a unionized, grumpy version of that kind of grandma you respect out of fear. And things only get better when an actual grumpy old lady shows up. The whole situation with Muffin, full of chaotic energy, pretending to be an old lady, facing off in a battle of persuasion worthy of Sandman versus Lucifer, is absolutely hilarious. And the best part, the old pug lady wanted $100 for the Granny Mobile, but Muffin makes her pay $1,200. And let's be honest, Doreen would have never left that yard without Muffin's boldness. The little one's performance was so convincing, It felt like she had already sold 3 off-plan properties and guaranteed Doreen's vacation trip. But if this episode made you cry from laughing, the next one is the one that makes everyone cry from wholesomeness. Bedtime is the kind of episode that makes you think, "Oh, how cute!" It's going to be a calm little episode about going to sleep. And then, out of nowhere, you're crying like a newborn, watching Bingo float through space to the sound of Gustav Holst. Seriously, this episode takes the concept of a child's sweet dream and turns it into a cosmic opera about a mother's unconditional love. And there you are, sitting down, trying to figure out how a 7-minute cartoon managed to move you more than your favorite movie. While Bingo tries to stay within her own private solar system, fighting to be a big kid and sleep on her own, the episode hits you with symbolism, classical music, and visual affection until it leaves you wrecked. And the worst part? All of that happens without even needing a single sad line of dialogue, just the image of Chili, the mom, appearing like a shining sun in Bingo's dream, is enough to break you. Bedtime isn't just the most emotional episode of Bluey, it's a small masterpiece of animation that reminds you why you care for those you love, even if it means waking up 3 times in the middle of the night. Which Bluey episode made you cry more, The Sign or Bedtime? But come on now, wipe those tears, because things are about to get weird. Blue Mountains has a genius idea, using hands as if they were characters with legs, arms, and even personalities. But then the art direction comes in and says, what if we put the camera really close to the hands? And boom, it turns into kids' body horror. Chili stretching her fingers like she's Slender Man, Bluey bending her wrist in a way that defies human anatomy. This isn't Bluey, it's Jake the dog in turbo mode. It's the kind of episode that makes you laugh because of the creativity, and at the same time wonder if you need to see an orthopedic doctor afterward. There are moments when it looks like the characters are possessed, with those puppet arms gaining a life of their own. But deep down, that's what makes the episode unforgettable. It's so weird, so out of the box, that you end up liking it, even if you have to sleep with gloves on for a few days, just to be safe. Would you show Blue Mountains to a kid, or save it for an exorcism session? If you also felt like Chili's fingers might show up in your nightmares, comment #tinyhands. Would you recommend Bluey to a friend? Because now we're going to tell you the best episode to start the show with. The episode, the show is, without a doubt, the perfect entry point for anyone who wants to start watching Bluey. It has everything: light and emotional drama, the fun games of Bluey and Bingo, the active participation of the parents, and it still surprises us with a deep theme about how self-esteem and family support can make a difference. It's that kind of episode that mixes humor, tenderness, and even some reflections you wouldn't expect to find in a children's cartoon. You know exactly which scene I'm talking about, right? This is the ideal episode for anyone who wants to immediately understand what makes Bluey so special. Because as Chili tells Bingo, the show must go on. But for how long? Is Bluey coming to an end? The next episode on the list will answer that question. The episode surprise is, without a doubt, the best one to end Bluey's journey, because it brings out the true theme of the series: Bluey's growth, and, as a consequence, our growth as viewers. By watching how the character deals with her own discoveries and her relationships with her family, we are reminded that all of us, just like Bluey, go through moments of learning and evolution. It's the episode that wraps things up perfectly, showing that the series is more than just fun. It's a reflection on how we deal with life's changes and challenges. And so, as Bluey grows, we grow with her too, feeling an emotional connection that goes far beyond a simple cartoon.